Hi friends, welcome to another clean with us. Today we are taking on a very challenging clean with a very challenging client. One of the hardest we've ever worked with. Hi, it's me. In all seriousness, we are going to be addressing some pretty big things today. We're going to be talking about hoarding, which I know is what most of you are really looking forward to. Hoarding tendencies, OCD, trauma, and the idea of letting go. Sometimes we diffuse with humor, and we're going to really try to keep this, light, but also, serious in the sense that there's a lot of information here, and we just want you guys to be in the know of what's going on with the Tidy 2. Speaking of the Tidy 2, why don't we take a moment to introduce ourselves? Hi, I'm Lana. I'm Laura. And we're two identical twins who love to clean and tidy. Where to start? Well, I just want to start off by saying that in today's episode, we are going to talk a lot about hoarding. We're going to be referencing a book called Conquer the Clutter that is a really good book about hoarding, and just give you guys some insight to how this disorder affects so many people. I guess we're going to answer first off, what is hoarding? Hoarding is an excessive accumulation and failure to discard things. These would be even things that have questionable value. Also, this type of lifestyle has to impair daily activities. So if you are highly functioning and able to get through the materials you have and still maintain a job and not lose any money, that wouldn't classify as hoarding. And lastly, if you have distress or difficulty functioning in the environment, there are so many examples of this, and we're going to go into more detail. But, being in a room where you have to step over things, where your safety is at risk because there's no walkways or exits are blocked, this would also classify as hoarding. So the even harder question is asking, why do people hoard, and what takes someone who maybe has hoarding tendencies from someone who collects a bunch of stuff to someone who can no longer function in society? We're going to try our best to touch upon all of these subjects. Now, we're not professionals, definitely not therapists, so we are not going to be able to help, fix everyone that has these problems. And when we're working with hoarders, it is very challenging because we know that we're not going to be able to cure them. And it just sometimes seems so easy to be like, oh, just get rid of this. And that is never, ever the answer. That's not the way to go. If you know someone who is a hoarder, or you yourself are a hoarder and you're struggling, we can connect in the comments below. Tell us something that has been really difficult for you to let go of that maybe family members don't understand. Or if you're the family member who doesn't understand, what was that family member not getting rid of? And we'll put some resources in the comments, or in the description of the video, I should say, of some help that you can seek out. So, are the Tidy 2 hoarders? Well, let's look at some red flags. I'm going to read off some questions, and you guys can do this at home too. Give yourself a 0 to 8 possibility here, okay? 0 meaning not at all, 2 meaning mildly, 4 meaning moderately, 6 being severely, and 8 being extremely. So I want you to kind of count as I ask a couple questions. Considering the number of possessions you have, how difficult is it to use the rooms in your home? I would say for me, it's probably a 4. This room, the garage, obviously I wasn't able to walk through it, and I have a couple rooms in my house that I sometimes tend to collect. And we have done some other hoarding videos about my house, so feel free to make sure to check those out. How much does your home's current condition upset you? I'd probably say like a 2. We've made so much progress. Thank you, Tidy 2, for motivating us. Yes, I know I'm part of that, but I think that the closets definitely need some work, and there are some places that are very jam-packed. You can see even here in the video, after I pulled everything out of my garage, I don't know if I ended up getting rid of anything. Maybe some cardboard boxes and things like that, but I ended up just putting everything back. How upset or concerned are others about your home's current condition? Oh, that to me seems like a 2. I'm also a little bit private. I don't have a lot of people in my house. So, Lana, are you concerned? I would say no, but, when we did the craft room, that was really hard because it felt like we were just stuff shifting. And then the garage, I also had concerns because I felt like the primary goal should be getting the cars in the garage. And, we conflicted because you wanted to have stuff instead of the space. And, that, it is kind of hard. But overall, compared to other cleans we've done, I would definitely say this is very mild. How concerned are other people or agencies with your clutter to the point of trying to intervene? Oh, I mean, zero. I don't think zero. But this is a real problem for many people. And if you are a viewer and you have this like dreading feeling of someone seeing your house and wanting to like literally move you out because of safety or whatever, something to consider is, again, we're going to put some resources to help out, but seeking out help for this. We're going to get back to the questioning in a moment, but this is over a year later. This is me having trouble still accumulating more stuff. I thought, I have these totes, I've got storage, things are going to be better, and it didn't get better. It just got more. And this goes back to something we've talked about in previous videos. Fancy organization containers do not solve the problem if you are not using them to contain and limit the items you have. How difficult or distressing is it for you to get rid of things? I think for me, this would definitely be a 6, sometimes an 8, depending on what we're trying to get rid of. It is hard. We're going to get into the different types of hoarding. We don't mean like animal hoarding, and we're talking about like why people hoard or why they can't let go. And I think mine is definitely emotional, somewhat tied into OCD. It's just very difficult for me to separate things like pairs. I don't want to sound crazy, but I believe that items have feelings. I know that is really strange and crazy, but it's kind of like, these items are a family, and then all of a sudden you're pulling the items apart and they'll never reunite with their family again. And yeah, I know it's crazy. I would be careful to use the word crazy here. I think a lot of people struggle with this feeling. I mean, there's a reason why Toy Story is so popular, but this is a reality that many people face with discarding items, and your dialogue might be, I don't want to separate the family, and we'll talk about kind of, that dialogue in our life, but also for many other people, it's, I spent money on this is worth something, or it was given to me by blah, blah, blah. Or maybe I'll find a way to use it. I'm going to use it in the future, or what if there's an apocalypse, or whatever it might be. It's hard to outsmart our own brains because we are very good at justifying why to keep something and not as strong as saying like how to get rid of something. How difficult is it to resist buying something when you don't have the money to spend? I would say this is probably a 2 at most for me. I like sets. I like, sometimes I'll see something in the store and be like, what if nobody else buys it? Because maybe it's a little bit damaged or something like that. But for the most part, I am able to, kind of smart shop. And I really don't spend a lot of money. Okay, so those are the questions. And then here's the scale that you're going to measure yourself against depending on what number you have. All right, do you want to guess what your number is?
A quick math, 10, 11.
Okay, we got to work on the math skills, but it is 16.
Oh, wow.
So what it says here is that the clutter in your home is a moderate level. It's time to have a closer look as to why it's happening. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And so with that result, meaning the Tidy 2, we are not hoarders. However, I do think that Laura struggles with hoarding tendencies, and with, enough prevention, she can work to not accumulate a bunch of stuff, but the same goes the other way. If she has some unsteadiness or some obstacles or challenges that really push her mental health, it could put her over the edge.
If you feel comfortable and wish to share, let us know what your number was.
All right, we're going to get a little deep here. We're going to talk to you guys about some trauma that Laura and I experienced when we were younger and sort of get, I don't know, this is really, really hard. It's hard to talk to you guys, even though we love our YouTube family, but we don't share a lot. So we're going to share with you some stuff and maybe how that shaped our personalities now. I think this is something that, we're going to be a little vulnerable here. And yeah, we're going to share.
I hate vulnerability.
I know you do. If it means anything, I'm in therapy. Lana, we're going to be working on getting her into therapy at some point. And so, we are getting the help we need. And we're just hoping that this will give you guys some insight into even maybe why we started the Tidy 2. For two people who grew up in the same exact environment, the same parents, and experienced essentially the same trauma, we have very different ways of dealing with the clutter and things.
When we were 13 years old, Laura and I and our siblings were removed from our home for abandonment. Basically, our mom left us, and there was neglect and taking care of us. We were essentially homeless and living with friends.
We have a great relationship with our mom now. She lives very close to us, and we're not going to go into the details because that's her story, but, recovery is possible for anyone, and there is no too far into it. So, yeah, we had to come and live in the Midwest, which we absolutely did not want to do, and 13 is a hard age anyway. We came into a home, and that home had its own problems.
Yeah, no, this is hard. When we left, we were given less than 7 hours notice. We woke up that morning in our friends' homes, and they told us when we got to school that our dad was there to pick us up. And we had no time to pack. We had basically a trash bag apiece and got in an airplane and moved to Iowa.
We went from a home with absolutely no structure, complete freedom, which has its own problems. Now we are children, or we're adults, but we crave structure in our lives, to a home that was, there were people in it that were very, very abusive. I'm going to say it. I know that some of my family watches this video, and I know it's really hard to hear, but it's the truth. And, DHS and lots of different organizations were involved in our life, and I can't count how many times the police department ended up in our home for one reason or another.
Stability was one of the furthest things from access to us. We did not have a stable home throughout until we really moved out on our own at 16.
We are so grateful to the program foundation too. I don't know if this is only a Midwest or an Iowa thing, but this program, if you were looking to donate to an organization that changed someone's lives, it changed our lives.
Something else that changed our lives is the show The Locator. Troy Dunn is the host of the show. You can find this on Apple Music, YouTube, IMBD, I think, Amazon maybe, I don't know. But check it out. Honestly, it's a wonderful show.
We were stars before YouTube.
Yes, very much so. And this is a happy ending episode of us reuniting with our mom.
Yeah, this is 2009, so you can look back and see how young we were, but it also gives a little bit of our story as well, because we're not going to share everything here. It is really emotional. We actually had to pause the video and grab some tissues just so that we could continue recording right now. So, but I promise you it's worth checking out. Okay, let's connect this back to our mission of today, which is, why do I have trouble letting go, and why can you just let go of anything like it doesn't matter?
So when we moved to Iowa, we mentioned that we only had like a trash bag worth of stuff. And the hardest part is like that trash bag, in retrospect, I feel like didn't carry anything important. All of our family photos are gone, destroyed. I don't know where they all are. Videotapes from our childhood. I mean, things that, 13-year-old twins shouldn't have been responsible for, but lived to be one of our biggest regrets.
Yeah, I mean, I have notes from like 7th grade with, people that were our friends that we don't even talk to anymore. But exactly, we shouldn't have been responsible for that. And I think that's part of the reason I have trouble letting go, is that all these things, we lost so much from our childhood, and now I never want to experience that again. And again, I'm going to therapy. We're talking about this, but it is very difficult to remember.
And on the other hand, with me, like holding on to stuff, it feels as though in a way I've sort of hardened my heart around material goods. Like I often think like, oh, if there was a house fire, everyone's out, everyone's safe, what would I need to go back for? And I really truly can say the words like, I don't think I'd have to. Like, I mean, I know people who have suffered from family fires or natural disasters and who've lost everything. But I feel like I've sort of pushed myself to think, what can I absolutely live without?
And we're in an age of technology, so we are very lucky that we have the cloud and so your children's photos and my child's photos are all digitized, so we have that benefit. But yeah, it is difficult for some people to let go, and some people it's harder to hold on. And I don't know if this is too deep, but do you think by not having as many personal items or, physical things, maybe you are protecting yourself from that situation again?
Oh, I can see that. I think that one of my, hardest skills is to not feel. Like, I almost force myself not to have too many emotions or feelings because I don't want to feel those big things. They hurt, they're scary, they're unpredictable, and I don't want to overdo my brain.
We kind of make a joke about it, and it's a serious thing, but I think people that have gone through serious things, that humor is the only way to get through it. But we call Lana the queen of dissociation.
Oh man, there's so many times, you guys, we edit things out of these videos that you guys can't, obviously you're not seeing, but like where I'm just staring off after a conflict with Laura. And by a conflict, I mean
I say I don't want to let go, and
I know my gears are turning, but also I'm trying to shut them off at the same time. So I mean, it's normal, and it's okay. We all got things to work on.
And when we're working with clients, you can actually see our two styles. I feel like it's the perfect blend because sometimes, so Lana is kind of the harder one that goes in and is like, do you really need this? Can you live without it? If it was dirty and in sewer water, would you try to save it? There's some really weird, hard questions that she asks.
And I feel like you're the other side where you are the softer. Sometimes you are a little too fast to say yes. Like, they'll hold something and you're like, oh, that's the most beautiful thing that ever existed.
Or like, don't worry, you can keep it. No pressure, no pressure.
Yes.
I say that all the time. No pressure. It's up to you.
So I think we balance each other out. If we were to come to your guys' house, which, by the way, we've had so many requests from people all over the world saying, can you come to our basement? Can you come do this? Which I think is amazing.
I'm sorry, we are not flying to Switzerland. It's not personal. And maybe one day.
Maybe one day, but not really, probably. Sorry, guys. But we don't like to travel. That's a whole other fear that we can get into another day. But if we were to come to your house, what kind of style do you think would help you? Would you prefer the softer tone, the more empathetic tone, or would you prefer the ruthless tone to help you guys get decluttered?
I don't want to say ruthless. I feel like you have boundaries and rules that you like to uphold.
That is a much nicer way to say ruthless.
Yeah. Today we've been focusing a lot on hoarding and talking about Conquering the Clutter, that book. Are you interested? Are you guys interested in us doing, we'll say, book reviews, cleaning method reviews? Would you like for us to talk more about hoarding, the Swedish death clean?
Marie Kondo, do you want to see the Tidy 2 do reviews?
Yeah, just let us know. We have some ideas for videos in the future where we can just talk about these things, and we'd love to open it up to discussion with you all.
And no matter what, our goal is still to reach out to people. We have a huge waiting list of people who want our support and love. I'm going back to school soon, so that's going to make this a little bit harder, but we want to basically open up our viewership to tons of different types of people who are watching.
We are actually coming to the end of our video.
This has been an emotional roller coaster. Thank you guys for letting us be vulnerable. We have loved our YouTube family and can't wait to share more with you guys about our future cleans and a little bit more about our life as we go and keep creating videos.
Yeah, so thank you so much for watching and enjoy the transformation.
Secrets start in your heart so slow.
Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. This channel is growing this summer. We are so grateful to you guys. We've hit over 3,000 subscribers and want to keep going. So make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't commented, comment something so that we can interact with you, and finally hit that subscribe.
Oh yeah, and make sure to share, because there's lots of people that want to know what you're interested in, and you can tell them, hey, did you know they also have a TikTok? The Tidy Two are doing it all.
While you're hitting share, don't forget to share our YouTube playlist. This is a way to look for the thing you want to clean. You want garages? We got garages. You want hoarding episodes? We got hoarding episodes. Kitchens, decluttering, all of it. Look at that YouTube playlist.
Thank you guys for letting us share with you and be vulnerable. Again, we're interested in possibly doing a Tidy 2 review segment or YouTube series where we take different cleaning methods or different cleaning books. So let us know if that's something you're interested in. Actually, in general, we want to know,
what should we clean next?